Hi everyone, Intuitive Kathleen Miller here, and this is your September Intuitive Energy Forecast. And this, coming off the heels of August was an incredibly, I will say for me personally, an incredibly challenging month. It was, the climb, I remember climbing was one of the main focal points for this past month, and it certainly felt like that quite a bit. And September, wow, we are moving into, I think the main word is illumination is the big word that is coming out of it. And as we know, there's eclipses and we have a lot of different astrological and planetary things that are lining that are contributing to even greater intensities this next month. Really being prepared for more pivots, more changes. And one of the big things, certainly elementally, we have fire, we have light, and we have ether that are coming into the forefront this month. And these are really necessary. The first focal point is really about kind of things burning clean, things like really, really coming into the fire. And what I first heard when usually I get the broad strokes of the different focal points and then the energetics that really define it and go into what those mean. And the first thing I heard was forged in fire. And at first I went, oh my gosh, that, again, the intensity of that. And to me, forged is really false energies and fraudulent energies. And so this is really, it feels like this divine justice that is happening. And it is this forged in fire. So all that is the mimic grids, the distortion grids, the really false light energies are really coming into play. And we see this in disclosure that's happening at an unprecedented rate as this divine justice is coming up. And to me, the big focal point for light workers, for earth angels, for starseeds, for anyone seeking conscious living for this month is really, our work is to be, number one, always staying connected, but also that we're rising in our frequency, we're rising vibrationally for the collective, we're rising in this light so that that which is dark can no longer sustain. And as we keep doing that, that is that divine justice that is flushing out everything that has been criminal, that has been, that kind of false and wolf in sheep's clothing, as you will, a lot of these insidious energies that are being contained, being removed, and being cleared right now. And so looking at for you, because that's sort of the global aspect of it, really having things kind of lift globally into greater truth, into greater transparency, into greater sovereignty. But also we have to bring this back into the microcosm of our own lives. So what is it that's in our life that also still needs to kind of flush out in truth and flush out in clarity and the willingness to do that inner work, which is, not always the easiest to be doing. And so really, cleansing for that and being prepared for that. 'Cause illumination, if you're ready and you're a strong channel and you're a strong wire, you can handle the increased flows of the Schumann and all these solar flares coming in. If you're not doing your work and you have a lot of resistance, this is going to be more uncomfortable, more of a clash, and a lot harder on the physical system and on the channels for those. And that's not wrong or bad, but it's just really, we're at a time now of such an influx of light coming in that if you're not doing your work, or you really probably wouldn't be listening to this if you weren't. But if this is really pinging you to get more focused or to kind of double down on either your care or the work to be more committed to higher vibration, then certainly be honoring that. Okay, so that's one. Two is integrating the full spectrum. And so this is really from these codes that are coming in, from these solar flares, these outer planetary transmissions that are coming in for the collective to lift, for the earth to lift, we've got to be integrating this. And this is also not just on our dimension. This is multi-dimensional integration. And so what this really translates for September specifically is that we're beginning to integrate. Most of you notice, okay, time feels pretty different because third dimensional time is dissolving. Third dimensional, a lot of systems are dissolving. A lot of these outmoded perceptions of what reality is are dissolving. And so it's super uncomfortable because there's this expansion, but we also have part of multidimensionality is we're seeing here in third dimension. I'm talking to you now through this computer. But then we have higher dimensional sight. We have our channel sight that's going into even 4th, 5th, 6th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, higher dimensions. And so as we're activating those, and we have to integrate them too. Otherwise, we're not really present in the body. We're not really able to ground what we're here to do. As much as people think, oh, I just want to get out of here and I want to escape this. Well, you're not going to be as present as you need to make the difference here on the planet. We have to be in our bodies. We have to be physically showing up and taking the actions here to actually create the change too. That's the most powerful, is bringing it back. But if we're doing that from just the linear, we're really not, we don't have sort of the higher caliber, higher dimensional firepower for the change, for the impact of divine justice that I know millions, if not billions, are asking for right now globally. And so that's really, really important to be embodying that, so that one, it's allowing more to show up, and it's also really collapsing the outmoded faster, and it's also fleshing out that which is really lower ebb, that is not of the light. All this false light garbage is really just transmuting, dissolving, and releasing. Very, very important. And then third is, this global syncing for the collective rising. I know I talked about this a little bit. This is a bit different into September because now we're at a point where, certainly I'm doing this daily. I'm encouraging many others. I know many others are beginning to do this, where when you are through your meditation work, through your inner energy work, that we're beginning to sync with the highest divine, those that are on the highest calibration wavelength around the entire planet. And then sinking that light to float into the oceans, seeking that light to float into the earth, seeking that light to float into divine justice, seeking that light to float into all of the elements remaining pure and restoring, because part of this recalibration is the instantaneous restoration that can happen on so many levels. And as this really gets stronger, this is the power of this too, you guys, is as this gets stronger on a global collective level, that which is really opposed and attempting to control, to manipulate, to dominate, it has nowhere to go, because that disappears once collective light is consistently holding that spectrum more dynamically. And as you may notice, there's a lot of attempts to control and attempts to dominate that are being disarmed, that are being thrown out, that are being, contained and removed. And the more this light turns up, the more we realize, wait a minute, I have a say. I have, this as I consciously consume, because the conscious consumerism is also a part of this. The conscious, what we're cooperating with, what we're putting into our environments, how we're relating, all of those microcosm choices in a day are also contributing to this. We have to be evaluating in your own personal life and then taking that out to the macrocosm. That's where real unprecedented change for the better and for, this rising can really happen everywhere. So very powerful month, a lot more disclosure, a lot more coming to light. Remember that because we have fire, light, and ether, these are very fast moving, very strong, very, very, no nonsense energies that can be, they're already activating, but can be really intensifying for us. So our work is to stay, really in the most stable core center of, keeping an open heart, really staying in this space of clarity of desire, of better for all, better for the planet, really, really clear increase of light. And that's part of that illumination. We're not, oh, love and light, I hope it all works out, and putting our head in the sand. We're love and light, and that which is not love and light can no longer exist, can no longer overthrow or control or really seek to that which is seeking to harm is dismantled, is removed, and is rerouted to a place where it can rehabilitate. Because anything trying to do that is really not coming from the divine and not coming from the highest healing light. So the more we return to inclusion, we return to this full spectrum light alignment of possibility, the more that everyone is abundant, everyone is cared for, supported, nurtured, returned to wholeness, because that's really the truth of it all. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Definitely love to hear from you guys as always, as well as questions that can go to future podcasts. But just, pacing yourself as always, and keeping your body, your life as clean and as stable as possible is super, super, super important, as well, of course, as the hydration element that I'm always encouraging, so that we're mineralized. That also helps with the light integration as well. So thank you so much. If you want to learn more about how to work with me, or possibly collaborate, be part of all kinds of new things that I can see that are coming in, so excited, definitely reach out, or you can find me at intuitivelifestylesuccess.com. So thank you guys so much again. Have a wonderful month and be well.